No one is going to use this stuff to weaponize me or what I'm doing ever again. I own it. I'm honest about it. There's 0 skeletons in my closet. You could open the closet right now and all of them. Yes, I am nuts. Yes, I was diagnosed bipolar during COVID. Yes, I'm on OnlyFans. Yes, I worked for Naked News. Yes, I had an affair and we got divorced. And there's nothing you can use. There's nothing you've got on me.
Well,
cheers.
Cheers.
Great.
Welcome,
Jacqui. Good to meet you.
Thank you. Very glad that you are here. Very excited. It's nice to see you in person after a long time, and nice to see you after last night I subscribed to your OnlyFans. And I'm impressed. I'm inspired. You are a queen. And I was like, I need to start one of these.
It's fun.
It's great.
Yeah, the girls have been talking about it for their own purposes.
Because we were like, we both technically have one, but no content. And we need to change that immediately. After seeing what you have, we're like,
when I started, I was just putting up some pictures that I had already had.
Yeah, okay.
Now I'm full in.
Yeah.
I'm an OnlyFans girl.
Yeah.
So we were chatting.
Full in.
And you were saying, like, every message, every text, like, there's a lot more to it than just putting, like, a video or a picture. Like, there's a lot of variables with OnlyFans, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of.
There's a lot of hand-holding. Like, there's a lot of, in the world, there's a lot of mental health issues, and there's a lot of loneliness, and that is... a lot of that's going on OnlyFans. There's a lot of people that just want people to talk to. They want to talk to you every day, though. They want to talk to you several times a day. They also have weird kinks and fetishes, weird to them, where they don't want to share, and they share with me. There's a lot more than just putting up pictures. So when I started it just over 2 years ago, I was just putting up pictures, and I had a management company, the gentleman that we both know.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's not really, that was fine. That was making money. But in order to make the big money and the good money, they got to fall in love with you. They've got to know you. They've got to know you intimately. You are their online girlfriend. Yeah. So I offer virtual dates and all that sort of stuff.
Oh my God, really?
So it's like you're fulfilling a fantasy.
For sure. Also, there's a little teeny bit of people think, which I correct, but people think I might be famous. So that is a fetish and a kink within there.
I can see that for sure.
Jacqui,
you are kind of famous. Like, hello. Let's just
followers, but I'm not really. Yeah, like Jesus followers.
There's a lot of money to be made in the DMs too, right?
Yeah, we were.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
They're called PPVs.
Okay,
and
pay per view.
Pay per view. And my pay-per-views are anywhere from $10 to $100, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
And if you've requested something that it's your fantasy, you want me in latex, or there's this thing called giantism. Do you know what giantism is?
No.
People.
I can imagine.
Nelson said yes.
I can imagine.
I can learn so much more about you after this episode.
I know. I want to know. I know lots of stuff. But is it like you're like a big person
giant
to them?
So like walking down the stairs and sort of stomping, putting them, making them tiny and in your pocket, or putting them tiny.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of.
Yes, and that's a
thing.
That's a thing. And people will pay extra.
All a thing.
People will, for that content, they will pay extra. They want to see it.
Really?
And if you'll do it, because not a lot of content creators do it or know what it is.
I hope someone wants me to be a giant. I've never been a giant.
It's really fun. It's actually really fun.
Super fun.
I just walk downstairs with like this fishnet thing on. Oh, they want to see the soles of your feet all the time.
Are you able to be like, fee, five?
In my head. So in my head, I'm like, oh, you're so cute. Look at you, you teeny little.
Oh, you tiny little man.
That's exactly it. And so once you get past giggling, I get paid.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of fetishes. Like people want to see you eating cake with your hands. You're nude, but you're messy. So you're eating the cake, eating fruit
what
bowl.
Are we doing wrong with
I know.
lives?
Like at the beginning, I was like, I'm not doing this. This is beneath me. And a couple times I told the management company when they were managing me, I'm like, I'm not doing this. This is so beneath it. What the hell? Then I'm just about to turn 50, and I thought, what the? Am I? If you Google me, I already have sort of, right? Like there's already that sex underlining. I worked for Naked News. There's all this whatever. You don't see me as a librarian. You don't. I'm not Mother Teresa.
But if you were, that would be hot.
Well, I am on OnlyFans.
Yeah, librarian.
Do whatever you like. So I just decided I'm all in. Why do I care what people think? And it has allowed my husband to take an early retirement and down to more part-time hours. We're building the house in Jamaica. I've got some nice things out of this whole thing. And I was worried. My only worry, still even right now driving in, was what would my adult boys think.
Yeah.
They think it's funny. They think I'm fun.
Yeah.
They're like, Mom, whatever. Haven't you been doing this your whole life? Haven't you did this? So they're my only concern. And if they're like, Mom, my OnlyFans is full of people we know too.
Oh yeah.
Full. Musicians, like out of control musicians. Like that's why it was funny. I'm like, I might
have some fans, people I know. And I'd be like, you want to see me and eat a cake with my hands? No problem.
There's a musician on there that I have been a fan of for a long, long time. He's a solo artist and lovely Canadian. I think he's Canadian, yes.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, go. Joined. And he's like, you don't need to send me the DM stuff. Like, you don't need to send me the PPVs. I'll just enjoy what is sort of the PG content that's on the feed. Okay. And he's super nice and lovely. And we talk sometimes after a show. He's like, they're lonely. And then another guy joined and I'm like, little drummer. Who is this little drummer? And the way he kept talking, I'm like, so I just said, do I know you? And he said, yes, you do, actually. Right. And that's sort of because everyone has an alias on there. Mm. Everyone has a fake name. Everyone has a whatever. So, but after chatting a little bit, I start to wonder if I know you. Cannabis community, holy crap. They are on there. And everyone's like, well, how do you feel about that? I don't have any special parts that you don't have. So like, I don't care if you've seen me naked. I really don't care. Mm-hmm. Because also the money really
like whatever. I think it's honestly inspiring, empowering. And when I saw your content, I was like, oh my God. I was like, one, I already have a lot of content that could go there. Yeah. But I'm like, I even said to my boyfriend, I was like, what do you think? Like, if I do this, like, and he goes, you know what? Fine. Buy me something nice. You can take I take all my own photos for my blog and I always have. And I was like, I can do this too. And I was like, like there's nothing wrong with being a sexy person. I used to live at a topless beach in Australia, like whatever, taking my shirt off lots of times, different places. No big deal.
When we get past the nudity of it, there's a lot of other things going on there. Like there are friendships and relationships and there is that weird, like getting to know them on different levels, getting to know, like there's a guy that draws and he will draw things and send them to me every day and he's never shared them with anyone. There's another guy who writes poetry. He writes poetry and he's been writing for 30 years and he doesn't share it with anyone. Wow. So he sends it to me. And then there's a bunch of them like erotic fantasies and they write these like paragraphs after paragraphs of paragraphs. And some of them are really great and they've never shared it with anyone before. There's also a thing called dick ratings.
Oh, they rate their dick?
Yeah.
So dick ratings. Tell me how
dick ratings.
Yes.
How can I make money?
So
by rating
how your DMs are often full of people sending you their random parts and things and like you want to see that? Well, on OnlyFans, you get paid to rate them.
Oh, God, finally.
Anywhere, yes. So anywhere from $20 to $100, depending on how detailed you and they want to hear, rated out of 10. So
is there like a master list of all the...
On average, I rate between 5.5 and 8. I've never given a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
But is there like a master list of all the dicks on OnlyFans? Imagine if you were like the number one dick on OnlyFans.
There probably is. Yeah. I don't visit the community much on OnlyFans.
You just kind of keep your own.
I keep my own thing because I can just imagine if you scroll to the right or the left, what's going on over there. Yeah. So I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah.
The dick ratings are often they just want to hear if it's nice, if you would kick it out of bed, they want to hear what you would do to it, and all that stuff. It's just. Yeah. Half the time I'm watching a documentary.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, great, another dick rating.
So you have a lovely penis. And I love how it goes to the right. Oh, so nice. I don't know, looks yummy. Yeah. Just things like that.
You're probably like sitting there like stoned, watching a thing with your husband, hanging out. And you're like, what do you think of this guy? I don't know. What do you think? Okay.
Is it a little bit too far to the left? There's been a few, though. I have said to my adult son or my husband, what is this? You're like, yeah, what is that I'm looking at?
Have you ever seen like a micropene?
Mm-hmm. A lot,
Really?
actually. Yes. Surprising.
Oh.
There's a lot of little teeny inverted guys out there.
Yeah, well, that's because they're the ones also wanting to know and sharing them.
And then
Trying to get some positive affirmation.
there's a level of, so
It's all sad.
it's shocking though when you open up one
I
and so
bet.
like a big guy will send
And
you.
then you're like, where is it?
I'm like, I scroll like usually 1 or 2 pictures and I'm like, what the?
You're
And
just
I'm like,
spreading through the hair.
I usually say you must be a tremendous shower. I mean, grower.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a grower, and I
Grower,
just,
not a
it's-
shower.
It's really like uncomfortable when it's
Yeah.
a little peanut,
Yeah.
but it still pays the bills. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you keep that in mind. You're like, you can have a bit of fun with it. Like, why the hell not?
There's a lot of conversations that are definitely not conversations that you would think are being had on OnlyFans are being had. There's a lot of real macho type guys on there that have different insecurities and serious or health conditions that they don't discuss it with their partners. They don't discuss it with and they're sharing them with me.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as like I have a really good laugh, I have a lot of fun on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of serious stuff too. And sometimes people start talking to me and it's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I'll say to my husband, like, I feel like this person is really sad. There might be some trouble. Like I can't
shouldn't say bye now.
Yeah, like I can't go right now. Like there's no way I can say bye.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that on there too.
Have you ever felt obligated or the need to maybe call?
So I do this thing called virtual dates. And virtual dates are 15 minutes. And so I asked them, do you drink red or white? Do you want me to wear red lingerie? Am I going to be in leather, whips and chains? Am I in a fur coat? What you plan the date. I'll be your virtual girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me at 10 o'clock or call me at 9 o'clock and we'll share a glass of wine and a laugh and a chat and a happy ending, maybe, if you want that. Like if you want me to sort of talk you through something or whatever, it's up to them. It's their 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they often go to 30 minutes, which is really good.
Great.
Just right before the 30 minutes. You want to finish?
Yeah, I take a long time so that we go into the next. But there's conversations had there as well that are not just about sex.
Right.
So like don't know if I can say, there's one gentleman that is in construction, big, huge guy, big guy. And what he likes is the complete opposite of what a big, huge gentleman would like. He likes pigtails and he likes me to be like little and small and meek and mousy.
Yeah.
But so does he.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So like he's got these big giant brute hands, like when you say, and he's a big head, and he's this big deep voice, and then he'll start to talk like he's really little and really quiet. Like the whole thing is just.
It's like I mean,
at first it's very shocking.
At first it's probably like wild and kind of like but then I can see how also having those connections with people where you know that you're helping like with their mental health or you're helping them kind of like unleash something in them that maybe when they go to work that day they're not feeling sad. Or maybe that they know that they are smiling that day because of you and you didn't have to leave your house, you're not in danger, you got paid, and you're making somebody happy.
And so I don't know if you saw that on there's a couple times I've posted, I know we're on OnlyFans here. Mm-hmm. We're not saving the world. We're not changing the world. There's nothing amazing happening here on that level, I guess, life change altering. Mm-hmm. But we don't have to. We can keep it kind of high is what I say all the time. Like I know there's nudity and pornography and there's whatever, but let's have some real connections. Let's talk about real things. Let's get to know each other on different levels. And they actually really, really like that. Like they ask me questions and we talk about like, what's your heritage? Where are you? And we start talking about other things. And then they start to pour into like work life, relationships. Oh, this is when I was younger. I felt like this. And I'm really glad that I'm doing it. I'm really glad that I stopped worrying about it so much.
Yeah.
Because and I do take offense when I was like, I'm just going to start an OnlyFans. Do you know how much work it is?
Well, that's the thing. To do it well, it takes a lot of work.
A lot.
Because the more money you're paid is directly correlated with how deep of a connection you ultimately have with people.
How much
so that takes a lot of work.
For sure. Like I felt so cheeky putting up an Amazon wish list. But then gifts started coming.
And you're like, I don't really feel so bad anymore.
I'm not very cheeky anymore.
You're like, I don't give.
And now I'm like, I've updated it. I've updated my wish list, and that's pretty fun. Like, it's great to get gifts.
Who doesn't love presents?
Now, do you feel like your relationships ever get too heavy or to a point where you're like, this person might be suicidal?
So that I definitely feel once I start talking to people, I also look at timing. Like, is this guy, he's messaging me at 11:30 on a work night or on a whatever, or 12:30. He seems off. He seems, I do get connected. I do
you have
worry.
a good judge of character.
And I also, there's been some people who are a little offside and even on OnlyFans, I'm like, whoa, like I think you have some issues with women, not just whatever's, you've got a lot of issues, and this isn't for me. This isn't where I'm not your girl. I can't, because I don't want it to be heavy there. I don't want any heavier than it already is.
Yeah.
So
that's understandable.
But there are people on OnlyFans that join that are looking for therapy, that are looking for that sort of from a sex worker. They want it, which I also love saying I'm a sex worker. I think that's so freaking hot.
I'm not.
I walk in. What do you do for a living? It's fun to say at the border too when they're like, well, "What do you do for a living?"
I'm a sex worker.
Sex worker. And then they're like, go ahead.
Yeah, like, where do I subscribe?
I used to say it all the time. I work.
You should like give them a sticker with like your QR code. Be like, here you go.
Like I could
You're
say
embracing the whole thing. I love
it. Say I'm a lawyer. I'm a doctor or whatever. You don't know. I like to say
I'm whatever you want me to be, baby.
On OnlyFans, I say that all the time. What do you want me to be? What's your fantasy? Let's make them come true.
I love that.
So hot.
We're like sweating.
I'm like, Jacqui, I'm not canceling my subscription.
There's a lot of women on my OnlyFans.
I thought I was just going to do 1 month, but I was like, I'm just going to keep it. And so
I'll send you some something special.
Just for you.
You use your real name?
Yeah. Jacqui Childs. Yeah,
I have my real name too, and I would definitely stick with my real name. Well, otherwise,
speaking of names, Kaye showed me something.
When you Google me?
Did you go by Sean?
Oh, that was a really old picture of you.
Did you see that?
Naked? It was on your OnlyFans. So if you want to see it, you have to subscribe. But you had you were
brown hair. It was all natural. I was 19.
Yeah,
I was like, that is not
Sean.
Jacqui.
Yeah,
I know.
So
that was a fake name.
Yes, I was Sean Knight. I went to University of Windsor and got a degree in stripping.
Next topic.
And so I became a dancer instead of going to school. And the prettiest girl in my high school, her name was Sean. And I picked Sean Knight. And that magazine, I actually won an international model search for that. That was $10,000 US.
That was a lot.
Back then.
That's a huge
so I had done those are real filth magazines. So they're Gallery, Genesis, and you used to be able to buy them sort of covered up at the variety stores.
Okay,
remember at the top or behind, you could get I'm 50, right? So this is way before the internet.
Yeah.
And those pictures, that, there's no modification there. That's just
they didn't
me.
Photoshop.
Oh, they're
How beautiful is that?
You look
That's
stunning.
just you.
I really, really like, and I'm proud of that because
you're amazing.
I've come, I've transformed a lot. I'm also a lot older. And I think of where I was and how nervous I was in those photos. And now I'm not nervous of anything like that.
Oh my God, when I was 19, that's when I was a sunshine girl.
I mean, I was a sunshine girl. Yeah.
I've showed you the picture.
You got to bring that in.
I got long red hair and I have huge guns because I have breast reduction.
Stop it.
Seen it? Oh my God, Nelson's seen it.
What?
And I
showed you that at a company dinner.
Oh, please.
Yeah, no, I'll show you after and I will link it in the show notes. But yes, but I mean, I feel like when you look at that girl and you look at me now, it's like I'm older, I'm more confident, I'm sexier, and I feel like I'm fitter. I think I look better.
Oh, I think I look
better now.
Yeah, I look better. I almost look older, and it was 20
Yeah, I think
years
you look
ago.
older then.
I look older then than I do now, and I think it's just
I agree with you.
It's exciting to have that to look back at.
I was uptight back then
when it's like that.
I was nervous. I was a little unsure. I was the look on me back then was not as confident as now. I would never be nervous in a photo shoot.
But I think that comes in time as well, because I feel like when you're younger, you're constantly in your head. You're comparing yourself to everybody. You're naive about a lot more things. And now
I was comparing myself to the makeup artist back then. She was cute and young, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And now it's on my OnlyFans. We actually, those magazines in the corner, it says they're $6.95, and my husband ordered them back issues. I think he paid $40 US or something to get them because I don't have them anymore. My ex-husband removed everything of my past life. Like we threw out so I have nothing. I was in calendars and magazines and I was a bud girl and did all kinds of.
Oh my God, you were?
Yeah, and
like
traveled.
Pam Anderson.
I had the one piece red and I've got
that's so
Venus.
cool.
I was a Venus swimsuit model. My ex threw out all of, I have the Venus swimsuit magazine still.
Fucking dream mode.
Which is fun now that I'm old.
Yeah.
Like now that
You're not old.
Well, now that I'm
Fabulous.
I'm half dead. Like who lives to 100?
Or half,
you were. Are you
or
kidding
half
me?
alive.
Or half alive.
But I think that's also part of it, right? Like everything you've experienced, that just brings you into this, like you say, it empowers you. You're embodying yourself in a whole, like you've carried children. You've done so much that now you look at your body and you're just like, look at look at this vessel.
I just didn't want to shame or make them uncomfortable. That was I don't give a poop about anybody else's thoughts and feelings other than those two boys. And they're grown men in their 20s and have no problem. So
what about when they were younger? How did that
well, it was,
talk to me about that? Because I have a lot of people that message me and they're like, Kaye, what if your kids look at your stuff? And I'm like, boo.
So I was married before. I was married for 15 years. And when I got divorced, there's a thing called PAS, parental alienated syndrome. My ex used, because there was no battle over money. It was just like, you take it, I'm gone. I could care less. Bye. But there was a struggle over the kids. That was all he had to use as a tool. And he used all of this, like your mom is a stripper, she's a sex worker, your mom's a whore, your mom's a da-da. And it was really hard for the boys. And I had just started on social media. I had about 1 million followers on Facebook. 1.5 million, I think, was, because I remember the picture. It said 1.5. Somebody sent or screenshot or whatever pictures of me half naked from my Facebook, which can't be that bad. It was on Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Like, hello.
But they were passing it around the school, and then apparently the pictures got sent to them from. My son had a party. My oldest son had a party. People found out whose house it was that they were at. They trashed it. There was $40,000 of damage to the house, but they took things and they and they found out it was my stuff. Some of the stuff got passed around at school. My kids got in fights. It was terrible. And then I didn't have a relationship with my youngest for 6 years.
Wow.
Because that was used as a weapon. It was which is another reason why I use this to empower me, because no one is going to use this stuff to weaponize me or what I'm doing ever again. I own it. I'm honest about it. There's 0 skeletons in my closet. You can open the closet right now and all of them. Yes, I am nuts. Yes, I was diagnosed bipolar during COVID. Yes, I'm on OnlyFans. Yes, I worked for Naked News. Yes, I had an affair and we got divorced. And there's nothing you can use. There's nothing you've got on me. And that was what I learned during that time, that I was so full of shame. I was every ounce of my being was used against me to take my kids and to harm and now they're back at home and we're all happy and we love each other to death and there's no secrets and everything. And that will never happen again. But it was when the shame and that heaviness of that, the weight of all that was used against me. The more social media I had, the more it grew, the worse it was. The worse from my ex. And I know you going through stuff, and the more limelight, the more stuff
they want to cut you.
And every time there was something to celebrate, I couldn't celebrate because there was so much control, damage, sort of stuff happening that people didn't want. And no one wants to know about that on social media.
Yeah.
Like I did write a book about it. Ignite Your Inner Warrior. I wrote it about my life. I wrote about stripping. I wrote about troubles with drugs and alcohol, troubles with depression. Even right now, I can talk a mile a minute all day long, but I have extreme social anxiety and anxiety and depression, which then during COVID I was diagnosed. Worse. It got so bad.
I feel that. I started taking anxiety and
I'm on
medication.
Everything again. That's why I'm not speaking for any of the cannabis conferences, which the last 5 years, that's what I did. I traveled around, spoke at cannabis conferences. Now I feel like a fraud. I can't tell you that cannabis is saving my life and changing my life. I'm back on all my meds. So I just don't, I can tell you that I use cannabis and I love it and I enjoy it and I like the whole community and the culture, but I have to have cannabis and pharmaceuticals now. Unfortunately, that's where I'm at. Yeah.
So does that stuff ever actually go away with age and perspective, or is it completely independent of age and perspective? Anxiety.
All my crazy stuff. You know what?
Say it gets more.
I don't leave the house a lot
unless I know that about you.
Right. Unless I'm working. Like I will show up. I'm never late. I will show up on time and I'll give you more than A game. I'll give you A+, and I'll be last to leave. But getting there is a really big deal, a really, really big deal. So I think that's also why I put such a high price on going. Like, if you want me to come to your event,
get out of the house, you're paying. Okay, I'm gonna have an anxiety attack.
Paying because Lord only knows what's going to happen once I'm there. Like, that's another thing I don't. My reaction is horrific in public. Like, I'm such a sweet person. I'm such a fun person. But in a public setting with just so much energy and so much whatever, I'm like and now who knows what they're thinking or what they're saying. I mean, I don't really care, but of course I'd give everyone a lot to talk about, a lot. That's why I post all the time.
You're also like, I've been at events with you and you walk in and you're like, one, your outfit's on point, your hair's on point, you look fucking fabulous. But you are just like a shining light walking through the crowd. And I remember being at Rebel and that you wore that whole white outfit. Drew, you were there and you were outside on the patio and I was just like, Jacqui's a vision. Like, you're just like, it's like people just want to be around you because you have a very magnetic energy. But you are like, it's 100% a character. Like,
for sure.
Like, but it's like you play it very well and it's like a magnet for
because at home I look like a 12-year-old boy eating chips and popcorn and whatever. Like, my lashes come off, my hair comes off,
we're always like, we're either here or a troll under a bridge.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me a reason to shower today, Nelson. My husband thanks you too.
You're welcome.
We're gonna have a good day
because I only bathe if it's for OnlyFans.
Pretty much.
Yeah, maybe not even.
Well, I take my showers on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So did you see that?
What a great way to make money. You're going to have a shower anyways. Why not make a buck?
People like that. They like to see. Yeah. And you don't even have to do anything.
Hey, you got to get going.
I am
Time's
5 minutes away from listing something.
I know.
By the time this episode comes out, I'll be adding my link.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Link in bio.
Yeah.
I really like to visit something that is a very interesting topic to me, which is stripping. Because I didn't know that you were a stripper, and I've talked about it with these guys a few times because I have a pole at home. It's very hard. I've been practicing for a couple years. I have I don't have a residency or anything. So I'm at my two local establishments. They have let me go on stage at the end of the night for the last song.
Isn't it fun?
It's so fun.
Isn't it so fun?
And I was a dancer, so I'm very flexible. And now I'm very strong. So I was like, this is amazing. Great workout, making money. And you look like hella cute and you got to dance to music.
I would say I was a stripper, not a dancer.
Right.
Because I can't dance worth shit.
Right.
And I only lean. I would just lean on that pole. Like, I did a little funny thing.
Oh my God.
I do it all the time.
Inversions.
See, you're a real dancer. That, you'd make some great money.
I've to the small audience that has been at my house late night that have seen me actually strip, I've said I'm pretty good.
So when I got married to Drew, he used to own a gym, and the trainers gave us a pole as a wedding gift. They gave us a big, we still have it. We used to take it to hotels and stuff, but I'm not that kind of.
Oh my God, taking it to a hotel.
Yeah. It's fun because it just mounts up. It's really easy. It fits in the back. Yeah.
You know, some of a couple of the women that I know that do the pole for an exercise routine, they're some of the fittest.
But honestly, though,
workout.
Yeah,
it is. I did pole workout. Fitness, and it's a great it's a real workout. Back I had bruises everywhere. Yeah,
because also you're putting I would have the heels, and you're putting I don't know. I haven't learned how to not dig my heels of my shoes into my leg, because the next day it looks like I had a small child just poke my whole leg really hard. It's like I have leopard spots.
My inner thighs would be black and blue.
Yeah.
I was terrible at the pole. I was terrible at that. I was good at getting the money. But it's
but also the floor, I did a class on floor dance.
Oh, I'm good at that.
I love the floor dance. And you roll around slowly.
I'm a lot like a sloth. I'm
sexy.
As long as you lick your lips and throw your hair around.
Just a little bend here.
When arch your back.
We went to strippers it was right at the beginning of COVID. Maybe it was right before COVID. And we went with a bunch of very notable influencers in the Hamilton area. And I didn't want to go in. I was like, oh no, I don't think we should. And then I'm like, I don't know what they're going to think. I don't know them very well.
Yeah.
So we go in, there's a horseshoe table. This young lady comes over. They bring a bucket of ice and stuff. We're setting it all up, getting ready to have some champagne or whatever. She is taking her shoes off. She leans down to take her high stilettos off. And between her legs, between her legs, she goes to me, like her head's between her legs. She goes, "Hey, aren't you Jacqui Childs?" It's like, okay.
This is why I don't leave my house.
How far we've come.
Oh my God.
So
yes, it's me, the legend.
I was dying. I said, my husband, did you? He's like, I did. I'm like, we should go.
Oh my God. I love going to the strippers, not going to lie. I love to watch the dance. I like the music. I love seeing their outfits.
I love it when they're having fun, though. When they're walking around snooty, I don't like that. You never see me walking around snooty. I don't like that. That's not entertaining. That's not engaging. That's not making the guys feel fun, like, loosen up.
Better for them.
Totally.
If they're nice to girls like us, babes, if they're nice to us and they're like kind of like joking around with us, and then the other guys see that, it's like, let me touch your butt. You can make some more money.
Yeah.
It's like,
in Jamaica, they encourage you to like, I had a really hard time. They want you to make it rain. So they don't want you to tuck it into their G-string. Like I'm always like, they want you to go like that. And then someone comes and sweeps it.
Oh, wow.
Excuse me. And then they want you to, like, I was like, oh, you have a nice bum. And they're like, no, they want to slap or whatever. I was just like, whoa, this is a lot for me.
You know what? When I was a bartender and a shooter girl at a strip club, I remember at the end of the night, all the strippers would come to my bar and they would just empty out their bags and purses. And I would just count like my coins.
Yeah. Like
I was like, what?
Have you ever been to a strip club in Calgary?
No.
In Calgary,
No.
it's crazy. I mean, because I've been to strip clubs everywhere, every city I've been. It's like a thing that Sean and I do. It's like, oh, well, let's start at the strip club and we'll see what happens. But in Calgary, they have this thing where they roll up a poster and they hold it like this, and then they want you to throw toonies at them.
And try to get it in the hole.
You're literally throwing, I was like, of all the stripper experience that I found degrading, that was the only time. Because you throw coins at them on stage and then like clean that up. But they literally, and then you can like get the poster.
That's
like,
weird.
That was like, I hope that they don't do that anymore.
I don't think I've seen that.
You could like hurt someone.
I wondered what happened when Toonies and Loonies came in, though. Like I was done dancing, but stripping before that. Don't try and that's bragging. Dancing. I keep hitting this one.
Oh, it's fine.
It's a new chin.
It's
New chin. What else is new?
Everything.
Imagine someone's like, "What's new?" Well, my boobs, my hair,
My
I got
chin.
my teeth bleached, and I got
Everything.
everything. No, that's fine.
Am I changing the world here with any like these deep questions?
But you're bringing sunshine to people as like, I often am like that person who's like, he's a sunshiny person and so are you. And it's like that you may not be saving the world, but being that person is also important. Bringing a smile to someone is something that more people need to do.
But what I think that really resonated with me is as women, no, like Nelson, I'm sorry, but just for women, speaking about women have so much shame. And I know we had an actual deep conversation about this last week where it consumes us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're doing not only just brings that sunshine, but you just showed people how to get out of shame. And that is the most powerful thing you can do for anybody. Like, honestly.
Thank you. You're right that women, mothers, Catholics, I don't know, full of guilt, full of shame. It's just the way you're, and why? Who cares? Who cares if you're not hurting anything, hurting anyone? Right. Exactly. And I was always worried about, the kids are raised. They're great human beings. Like, when is it my turn and my time? And just like I have a stepdaughter that she's a larger girl and she's wonderful. We don't all have to be a size 2 to have value. She's interesting. She's smart. She's pretty. She's yeah. God, Casey.
I'm working really hard at that.
Like, there's a lot of things in this world that we come into and we carry this around through us. So we carry it around. Like, I don't like that, women, we're supposed to be empowered. We're supposed to support one another. We're supposed to be confident. We want equal pay and equal rights. Yet we have all this shame and we have all this, like, how can you, I'm freaking warrior. Like when people message me and say, are you a dominatrix? And I say I'm not, I usually respond with, you know what? I actually do live like a dom. I'm a badass bitch. I'm not afraid of anything or anybody. There's no, except for this stupid anxiety that keeps me in the house. Right. So I'll fight you as long as you come to my house.
I love that. I was like, that idea is very, I follow a couple people who are doms. Like I had many moons ago in a past life, I went to a lot of fetish type things.
I love it.
And the first time I went, I was very like, I went as someone's like more of a sub person. And then the next year I went to that big annual event. I was like, honey. I had someone like on a leash.
Remember the leather? You West something leather. There used to be
Northbound Leather.
Yeah.
I still shop there.
Oh, like that's where Sean buys dresses. I love that. They used to have underground parties and they used to have all that sort of parties. I love that stuff. I just and now that we talk about transgender and we talk about our right to let children choose and I'm 50. I didn't know there was a choice. I just thought you get married, you have children, I'm a girl. I have a vagina. Obviously, I'm looking for a penis. But that's not, now that I'm 50, I'm like, I don't know. I said it to my husband the other day. I'm like, I don't actually know. I don't know what I would identify as. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
I change my mind on things. I like Joe today and I like Joanne tomorrow. And that's how I am. And I didn't realize there was a choice. And that's another thing with OnlyFans. I have a lot of Joannes on there talking to me and I'm like, this is pretty interesting.
But that's also the shame aspect. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm like,
so it's not just shame, again, I guess, for women and like the traumas and the people that have come into our life that have like formed our initial mindset, and then the constant competition and the underlining jealousy and all this stuff.
All the shit.
But it's actually just as plain as like, I remember, sorry, mom and dad, but like when I was younger, I was like exploring myself and my sexuality and learning new things about my body. And I remember they like shamed me for that. And like, as like a Pentecostal Christian. Pentecostal.
Oh, yeah.
We had a whole talk about that.
That's heavy, right?
Having that, like, and like a Polish
seems
Catholic,
like another aspect to the shtick.
But it is though.
That's a
you
layer
grow up with this like really intense background, but then just imagine the shame because you can't fully talk about what you're thinking, feeling. You're told that you have to wait until marriage and everything is bad, or you'll go to hell.
That's I remember.
See you there,
told
bitch.
that. No, I'm driving the bus. They have OnlyFans there too.
I'll be there. You can subscribe my hell.
So think about how many people have been like just repressed
for sure. That was why when I married Drew, my second husband, my current husband.
A legend.
Second husband. My second husband.
A true legend. Give it up for Drew.
We were very honest right from the beginning that I've never been faithful. And I'm quote unquote normal. I've never been in those like
not on the box.
Get ready for a wild ride.
What would you rather? Your life be boring?
Yeah,
no. I actually said that yesterday. Yeah, I was like, imagine your life without me in it. Boring.
Yeah,
you love the crazies. Hop on the train.
Which I said to him, shouldn't I apply for Big Brother or one of those things? He's like, you're too unpredictable. They don't like that. You can't be scripted. You can't be controlled. You can't be. You're too wild.
I tried for 10 years to be the good farmer's wife. That was controllable.
You didn't get on. Is that because you're lying?
I've just started watching that show, The Farmer Wants a Wife or whatever.
You know what? I was like, could you imagine if I went on there?
Oh, the guys are cute.
I'm more like too hot to handle. That's more.
I'm at MILF Manor. Except for the guys are 20. That's not my style. No. Like, unless you're on my OnlyFans, I love you.
Yes.
20.
But come at me.
But no, that's not my thing. I don't think I'm allowed to say my thing. I think it bothers the people on OnlyFans if I say my thing. But I like older.
All of my things are my things on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Jacqui Childs is inclusive to all.
That's what I mean. I was like, fuck, I have so many outfits that never get shown to anyone. I was like, OnlyFans, line it up.
They like to watch you just get dressed, get ready,
I get dressed every day.
Get ready. Yeah, you get dressed every day. You have a shower
and
almost
undressed.
every day. And
2 sessions.
There you go.
I think I've learned so much being on OnlyFans. It's like
it's pretty cool. Like
You're going to learn how easy it is to make some money.
you have to pay your taxes.
Bye, Hover. No.
Like you have to pay your taxes. You have to. It's a registered. It's a whole right. Like you've got to be. It's a real
It's
thing.
above board.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like you can't use a lot of words. There's a lot of so like if you're writing something and I'm like, oh, when I was young, you can't use the word young. You can't use the word like. There's all these different, and they don't like. I'm going to tell you guys this. Like, I'm sort of auditioning for a dick.
Like a dick? Like,
Yeah.
like the dick
Like-
and you want to get it?
Like, I need someone to have boy-girl content with, and my husband doesn't want to
Oh,
be
a dick audition.
Yeah.
Why do you want to be on it?
My husband doesn't want to be the dick for hire. He's not interested.
I can recommend it.
She's going to open up her book of ratings. So Case's ratings, the black book.
I got my own dick rating system.
Well, I'm looking for a dick for hire.
Okay.
To do some boy-girl content with. Their face doesn't have to be in it. I just need their wiener. And we're
But
not
like,
going
do
to
you
have...
want them to have like a certain stomach?
No.
No, you're right.
That's the dick.
I'm just looking for a
Look,
dick.
I'm ready,
That's
but
a
I
dick.
wouldn't do
They
it.
don't have to be a super hot guy. They don't have to be a super
Oh,
buff
they just have a
person.
nice dick?
They
That's
just
way
have to have a
easier
nice
to
dick.
find.
Yeah.
Because hot and a nice dick is harder
He
to
doesn't
find.
have to be a performer. Like his face doesn't have to be in it. He doesn't like. We're not going to fall in love or any of that stuff. Like there's
He's a
no.
dick actor.
He's literally
It's
a
like
dick.
being a hand model, but for dicks.
Right.
I have
So-
somebody.
because I have tons of
I have
requests.
so many people that are just like coming up in my head.
Which see, they don't come to me because I'm married, right? So they
I
don't
mean,
come to me that way.
What? I don't
right?
have anybody.
Kay's gonna rally for you.
So I am currently looking for a dick for hire that could come maybe literally 15 minutes before a shoot, do your thing.
Oh, I
and-
thought you. I was like, he's gonna come 15 minutes before the shoot, and then he's gonna come on the shoot, and then he's gonna go by.
Well, I look at each other. We're like, and hopefully he can hold her. Like you got to
You
be able
hold
to
the
hold her boner. You got to be able to do take
that's
one, take
part
two,
of
take
the,
three. Right?
you know.
Like there's a part of it, and I'm very
That's part of the job.
bossy. I'm very controlling.
Yeah,
like when we
but I mean, that's
part of
well
it.
here.
What a
Right?
great day we're having.
I'm like, this is the best day.
I'm watching all your shows, and you have people that are just changing the world and helping
And then you're
people.
like, I need a dick.
I need a dick for
Jacqui
hire,
Childs.
please.
Like, you want to come on the podcast? What would I talk about?
Well, I told Sean, and I was like, that's my boyfriend. And I was like, I was like looking at, he comes up to my room because we have separate rooms.
I love that.
We
You're
sleep
something else.
together in the same night, at night. But I mean, so I'm up in my room. I'm looking at your OnlyFans. It's like, oh, are you on a call? It's like, no.
Working.
I'm working. Research. He comes over. And then he's like, oh. Because we've met, we've hung out. I forgot what I was going to say.
That Sean, did he get a
yeah.
little peek?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I gave him a little peek, of course. But I was like, this is for
You
work.
pay your own subscription.
Yeah.
exactly.
No, but he was actually
Netflix.
surprised because I wasn't sure if it was going to be like you taking it in the butt or like
No.
something crazy. But I was like, oh my God. I was like, wow. That's what when I messaged you last night, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty inspiring because
I'm not taking it in the butt.
Yeah, but it's not
Not
like,
even for the right price.
people think about OnlyFans. They're like, oh my God, is it going to be like hardcore? Like,
Which there is a lot of that, I'm sure.
But you're not, you don't have
no.
to, you choose your
I don't
choose your
know
own
if that
adventure.
correlates with the amount of money people are making, though. I think
So-
most of the top girls aren't
I'm
that extreme. They're making a
2%,
lot of money.
3%, top
Yeah, the
2%,
top two, yeah.
top 2%, top 3%. Like it just, because you have to hold that space. So like once I get up past 2%, it drops or it goes back up. So I'm around 2%, 3%.
Top
And
2% of OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Oh,
of
wow.
earners.
Of earners.
So
Fantastic.
what?
Oh my God. I was like, is it, I mean,
What?
like, is there, like, I know you just bought a new Jeep
Mhm.
and you paid cash
Yeah,
and
for
that came from
everything.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans money.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You can get your car.
You know, some
Okay,
of the
but
top,
actually,
you know how much some of the top earners make on
It was
OnlyFans?
like bad baby.
And
Cash
Cardi
Me
B's
Outside.
on there and
Yeah,
all
see,
like.
what you were saying is exactly what I was told. So we talked. We had this whole thing. So I actually got OnlyFans.
Yep.
Like I said I would. I downloaded and I just put a thing of like, I'm not posting anything yet because of everything that
Yep.
I'm going through.
For payment.
Right. No, I have all of that. I got payment. People can subscribe, give me money, like starting now. Like they can. It's there. It's an active live thing. But what you said you went through is exactly what I'll go through.
Oh.
And that is my only setback is that I'm like, how is it going to affect my children? A. B. What would I put on? C. What will Thingy do about
And
it?
how would it affect
And how
your
would
children?
it affect my children is my main concern. But also, there was like a newspaper article of so many people that had OnlyFans, but they also had like their lives separately, and it got taken away from them, and they lost a lot of job opportunities because of the stigma of it.
Oh, for sure.
So then I'm like, okay.
You can't just kind of do OnlyFans.
You
You're
either
either
have
all
to
in.
do
Oh,
it
you have to be all in.
All
or
in.
you don't.
Right.
And I just can't yet.
It's also like the cannabis industry as well. You
But
have to
that's
be
it.
all in. You have to be all in or not all, because once you start saying I use cannabis, I'm all this, it affects. I've lost really great jobs because of cannabis. Really great. Like I lost a travel thing that I was paid great to do this travel company. They're completely against cannabis. And it was once it legalized, I talked about it. I was showing that. And then I got an email from them and their lawyer saying that I was no longer needed. My services were no longer needed. And it actually says in it, and I saved it because of my cannabis use and because of my public consumption of cannabis.
It's a thing though, and that's
It is a
also
thing,
like
because
even with me,
I've been there too.
I'm in the cannabis space. That's how you and I like. And so I was like, cannabis. I already have that used against me.
I'm sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Whether it's used against you right off the bat or used against you, 3 months into a new job.
Or 3 years later.
It's like, it's going to get used against you at some point or
there,
another.
for
So it's
sure.
almost
I
like
like
you're
what you
caught.
said.
You
It's
might
like,
as well
you know
work with
what?
people who don't care.
But you're just
Exactly.
owning it. It's like, you know what? Why don't I just throw it out there? So
But
that
no
it's kind of like
OnlyFans. No.
when, like when someone's going to break, when let's say a celebrity, this happened a bunch of times, a celebrity hears that, the New York Times is going to write this story tomorrow. And then they go on their Instagram and they break the story before them. That fucks over the New York Times.
Exactly.
That's like, you're owning all the
I
things
own it.
about you. And it's like, you can't cut me down because I've already owned up. This is who I am. And
Yeah, especially when none of them are illegal.
Which the company that I work for is like they've gone corporate and we have investors and we're big. And I had right away, I'm like, do I lose OnlyFans? Do I stop OnlyFans? Like, what do you, now that we are
Real.
we're real
We're
business here
legit.
and we're legit. And they said, no, they said, you've always been doing that. We're fine. And then they said, how could we tell you not to be a sex worker, not to be in the sex industry when we talk about inclusivity and diversity and
I love that.
inclusion?
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
would
good.
never, ever do that. And then like Derek will say to me all the time, he's like, unless I can give you that same amount of money, I would never be in your wallet that way.
Yeah.
He said,
But
I would
that's the
never.
thing. Surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded that are allowing you to be authentically you.
So all day long, from Monday to Friday, I'm the chief content officer of Cannabis Wiki and Weed Panion. And then in the evenings and on weekends, I'm Jacqui Childs from OnlyFans.
I love it.
yeah, you are.
So nice.
Yeah.
Great balance.
Yeah.
I was like,
Do
I'm obsessed.
you follow a businesswoman named Lynn Tilton? Have you ever heard of Lynn Tilton? Do you know her?
Why do I know Lynn Tilton?
So I know her because she owns a helicopter company. She owns McDonnell Douglas helicopters.
Oh,
Lynn
And she's
Tilton.
a CEO who's incredibly successful. I think she's probably a billionaire. And she owns a helicopter company, a couple defense companies. And she's like exactly what you're talking about. She is like a
She owns
very
her-
racy, sexy CEO girl who's made a lot of money, who's very respected. And she posts very, very,
risque pictures.
risque pictures. All
Which I
sorts
love.
of
Like,
stuff.
why can't I be both?
You should follow
I'm
her.
so happy. You are
Lynn-
so inspiring because I feel like, why can't I be both? Like Nelson and I work together and I've
Okay.
mentioned this and I'm like, I think
I will
they're
follow
like,
her.
it's fine. It's fine.
Right.
Why can't I be both? I am, I'm smart, I'm funny, and I'm sexy. And, all those
Why
things.
can't you
It's
be
like,
all the things?
Why can't I be all the things? Actually, I can.
You
I can. And I am.
And you know what I will say? I'll throw a banger out here. You know who? So the most of the people it's women that don't want you to be all
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Oh,
It's women that
yes.
don't want you to be all
Because
The
things.
hardest
women-
part,
you
the
become a
hardest
threat.
part for me as a
Right.
guy working
get
with women
uncomfortable.
is other women.
Totally. Other women.
It has nothing to do with men. The
It
biggest
really
people
doesn't.
who cause problems for me working with women are other women.
Other
it's all your
women.
wife's friends.
See?
Seriously.
But it's actually true, though.
Yeah.
It's
It's
true.
true.
I agree.
Like, we're very
I've
lucky.
never had any problems with guys at work. Like, I worked at Much Music, and like the girls there were all such bitches to me. Any job I've ever worked, I never had a problem with any guys. So I roll with the boys.
But that's because you're alpha.
Yeah, I know. But the girls are
But
the only
women
ones who
are
are being
sooner
bitchy.
to tear down. women
100%
than-
they are.
we-
I've never heard in all of the corporate world I've been in, all of the guys I've ever done business partners has had as business partners, all the people. I've never heard one of them tear down a woman.
See, I've never had a problem with a man. It's the problem.
I
with
don't
the
have
women.
men with,
It's
like-
the problem with the women. The women
Men are
are
great. And I go up to women all the time and I go, hello. I am your friend.
Yeah,
I am not a critic.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how Grace starts her job.
I do. I start. I'm
It's
like,
true.
hello.
Yeah.
I am here.
Do you know how good it feels to support women or be excited for them? It is a feeling that more women need to experience. Like if you actually support someone or are excited that they're doing something or excited they're doing well or excited, that feeling, it could be a selfish feeling. You feel great for supporting them. Like, I don't know why you don't.
We had this massive, like, because we had our struggles and our ups and downs.
Just started working together.
We just started working together, and we actually had to get to a place where we were both vulnerable and said exactly how we feel. Like, but we had to we were joking about like fighting it out, but we didn't fight it out. But we're both alpha, but we're identical.
But we and it's really great. And I was like, I'm so glad to work with you because we were both like, we are similar and we come in peace. We both are cannabis. We're sexy ladies, blonde, all these things. But it's like, we really like bonded and it hasn't been any problems. Yeah. One thing I was going to say is there was like a quote that was floating around Instagram that's like, no one who's ever doing better with you will ever cut you down. Because it's like only someone who's like, sees you as a threat or is like trying to think
that's like the hurt people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Same thing. It's very true. It's very, very true. When the money started rolling in on OnlyFans, the things that I worried about or thought about before, I was like, what the fuck? What? This is not even, why am I fighting with so-and-so over something that is so not even important? She's sad, made me sad. Why am I going here? Why are we doing this? There's cool stuff happening.
It all comes from insecurities.
To quote Ariana Grande, it was something like, no, but whoever said money can't...
Great
Ariana Grande, whoever said money can't solve your problems must
did
not have enough money to solve them.
There you go. And I want to say something else.
Ariana Grande.
How do you know? Like I get a lot of hate online. I get a ton of hate online. Women. Of course, always. And I get a ton of hate. And they all say like, oh, you're trying to convert our daughters and young women to be sex workers and you're trying to whatever.
Happy and empowered.
Like, you're trying to, and I get messages on LinkedIn. What are you even on here for? What are you selling on? Like you're trying to make the young women be sex workers and you're trying to show, you're glamorizing, you're something like it was actually, I screenshot it, I saved it, I cut it. I'm going to use it in a little post because actually the words were really flowery and great.
And maybe there was some spelling error.
No, there usually is.
I love haters. Like you're
but actually, who the haters are the best part.
Oh my God.
And I look at them and I'm like, that's who's commenting on me. Like you have the audacity
for real
to come at me when that's
big in the cannabis space. Like there's no teeth and no shoes, and you're telling me I'm a loser and I'm wrong.
They use the wrong there. And I'm like, oh honey,
it's the your. They use the wrong your.
Or there. And I'm like, oh, your mom.
Can't figure out the.
Did you mean your mom?
Not you are mom.
Yeah, not you are mom.
Or are you married? Your husband must be so ashamed of you. And I'm like, he's the one taking the picture. He's the one responding to the DM. He's there. You're talking to. Have I told you that story? He was for a long time. This was years ago when it was manageable. Drew would work for it when it was a smaller following and when it was on Facebook. He would respond. And one time, it's probably more than one time, but one time I caught him some chick. She was fucking hot, but it's coming from me. So I'm like, you got carried away there, buddy. Like,
yeah, I love your sense.
Pretty much. I never would have said that. He's like, you would have. Had you seen them, you would have. I was like, this is nuts. Like, you can't do this.
Can I have your marriage?
It's really fun. You know what? It's so like I was saying before, we're super honest. Neither one of us are perfect. We're far from, but we're honest about that. We're honest about our thoughts and feelings. And like when he was the one suggested, he's like, I'm not going on camera and you're getting all these requests for boy girl stuff. I don't want that.
What about girl?
Case is like,
you know what?
I have an OnlyFans.
Ever had a request for girl?
Really?
Never.
Throwing it out there.
And I know I have girls. I mean, I have a few girls on there that are not they're gay. They're not bisexual. They're actually gay women on there, and they talk to me about what they.
I need a picture of you laughing. It's so funny.
She's so funny. She pulls her phone out a lot.
Jacqui, where are you from originally?
Burlington, Ontario.
Oh, Burlington.
Yeah. Do you know where that is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Burlington, Ontario.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know it very well.
I know it very well.
Just a plain Jane. Just a regular girl.
Just a regular hometown girl.
I have a sister who's 18 months younger. nothing like me. Nothing. We're not close. We have nothing in common.
So she's not a sex worker.
Look, she's not a sex worker. It's so funny.
Can you imagine if she was like a pastor?
Well, she's pretty uptight though in her own way. Yes.
What does she do for a living?
She needs.
She's a mom. She's
Of course, a stay-at-home mom. I love
She's a stay-at-home mom, and I just
Nothing wrong with that.
Which there's nothing. I was for years. I
should
ran a
introduce her to my ex-husband.
You ran a daycare.
a licensed daycare for 13 years.
Daycare in the day, pole at night.
For real, for 13 years from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When I was married before, it was a Catholic Italian family. I have 2 little Italian boys. I didn't wear, so I had done this my whole life, meet him, get pregnant right away. And because I have to get married because I'm pregnant.
She's my future.
Marry this man. Live married for 15 years, 2 boys, and none of this. I had 0 social media. I never cut my hair. I didn't wear makeup. I had no tattoos. I had no whatever. Now I'm covered in tattoos. I do whatever.
You're a freak
I'm
bitch.
out. I have social media. So this whole following and this everything, I've just built that now. Since I was divorced, I never had. I was just a mom, a 24-hour stay-at-home mom, and I ran a daycare they were like cops and CAS workers and teachers, and I was really good at it.
In Burlington?
No, that was in Ancaster.
Oh, in Ancaster.
So-
I'm sure some of those cops.
So I
would
grew
love
up
to
in
know you
Burlington, and then I
have
moved to
Yeah.
Ancaster
Nice.
and raised my family in Ancaster.
Yeah, that's nice.
It was very nice, and Ancaster is
I know
quite
people have moved there since the pandemic. They love
beautiful.
it. They love it.
It's really, and it's a great place to raise a family and to have kids. And the second I was able, in my divorce agreement and whatever, my boys were 18 at the time. I was out of there though. It was time to be me. I married Drew, grabbed the social media.
How did you and Drew meet?
Oh boy.
Oh my God. Was it at a sex club? It was at a sex club.
I was
Tell me
that
it was at a
another
sex
question.
club.
I was like, have you been to a lot of sex clubs? I love you.
Yes, I'm like the face of them. You can
I
go
know.
in and see me on their pamphlets and on.
Okay.
You get a sex club and it's like Jacqui Childs
Cougar
poster.
Life?
Yeah,
Do you
tell
remember
me.
Cougar Life?
Yeah.
So
Cougar Life, like the show?
the website.
Oh, yeah,
Cougar
there
Life.
was a website,
So
Cougar Life.
Ashley Madison owned Cougar
Ashley
Life as well.
Madison. We talked about that.
Just had I had a meeting with last week. That's their client, and
switching.
I was like, "You should meet my friend."
Oh, knew it. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's going to be an interesting
Cougar
evening.
Life.
Okay,
the website.
So remember Todd Shapiro, Sirius XM?
No, haven't
Okay.
been on his podcast.
So I was on Sirius XM, and Todd's like, you know what? Do you have management or do you have whatever? I'm like, no, we just sort of wing it. We do our thing. He's like, well, I would love you to represent you. I would love you to come and meet my friend. I think his name was Lauren. I can't remember. Anyhow, Noel. Sorry.
Lauren, Noel. Same thing.
Sorry, Noel. Whatever. And he's a big liar, but anyhow. So
Yes,
I
Noel
go-
is no good.
We don't know where we are, actually. We set up a meeting. I set up a meeting with Todd. Drew and I go to this place downtown, this beautiful building anyway, Toronto. I call everything downtown.
Yeah.
And I'm there at Cougar Life. And they were looking for the new Cougar, a new face of Cougar Life. And I got the interview and we met and we talked. We talked about Ashley Madison at great length. Talked about if you're on it and how'd you name it Ashley Madison? Why did you name it that? Blah, blah, blah. We had this whole big conversation. Everything goes really well. They're going to be in touch. Todd's all excited. 2 weeks later was the Ashley Madison leak.
Oh yeah.
The thing, and he ended up having to step down. He got divorced. So I don't know why I started this conversation.
About that Cougar Life.
But that was how I was going to be the face of Cougar Life, and I just missed it by that little bit.
Yeah.
And then why does I was leading?
Why did you meet Drew?
Yeah, didn't you? That wasn't the question how you met.
This is why Drew's your husband. Ashley Madison. Not Ashley Madison.
This happens on a regular fucking basis.
It was like the ADHD.
Yes, I have. And I
think we all have ADHD here.
What? Maybe not Nelson.
I didn't get anything to try
He's
and
like,
focus.
Drew, where are you
Okay,
going?
all
Drew,
like-
where are you going?
How did I meet my
Anyone
husband?
listening is
I was
like,
trying to
what's
figure
happening?
out where it was going
All
and
right.
where Drew came in the picture.
Had nothing to do with that. But it was because I was going to be the face of Cougar Life and Ashley Madison, and that takes me back to I had an affair with Drew.
Oh, Drew, you had an affair with
Drew.
We lived in Ancaster, which is a really small town. He owned the gym in town, and everyone went to that gym. And everyone went there. Like you drop your kids off and then all the moms would go and walk on the treadmill and talk shit about everyone. And that was how, but my ex-husband, I'm going to be mean to you for a second there. This is a long time ago and it's not coming from now and you're a lovely human being and the boys love you to death. But he was a real fat fuck. Humongous. And he wanted Andy Drewy to train him. So he was like, can you set this up? Can you get Drew to, his name is Andy. Everyone in the gym.
Trainer.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's what we just not talked about in the other episode.
So we had an episode with Fifi Dobson and Priyanka, and one of the questions is, do you love had an affair?
We're gonna have to cut these together.
Yeah,
okay, keep going.
So I had an affair with my it was actually my husband's trainer. But you want to know what he did? He paid him back as soon as we started our affair. He gave my ex all his money back.
Oh, that's nice.
So classy. What a classy woman. What a classy. He was like,
I fucked your wife.
Here's your money back.
I don't. It was the worst. He doesn't like to give money back.
But I mean, he got you. So really, how can money compare to that?
There you go.
So like, in some cultures where like you get a goat or like some like
dowry, I think it's called. That's
dowry.
Thank you so much.
So
she's mine now.
It's a small town. I was the scorekeeper for our kids' baseball team. His wife was a scorekeeper for their kids' baseball team, and we knew each other through baseball, small community, and pretty much so going into the gym. My ex dropped off right away. He went to a couple training sessions, and we bought this massive package. So I went in and said, "Can you train me?"
Yeah.
And
wow, what a lucky guy to have you.
And that was it. He was like, "I'm going to set you up with someone who will be perfect for you." It wasn't him. And so I went a bunch of times. I walked on the treadmill for hours, walked to try and get him to pay attention to me.
That's so cute.
And he finally did. And yeah, it was, we've been together we've been together 13 years, married 10. Yeah. And we're a weird couple. Like we're weird.
I don't think you're a weird couple. I think, I think
you're honest.
That's coming from what
a weird couple
would also call a weird couple. But I think that you're a great couple, and I find it inspiring.
Thank you. We're a really honest couple, and honesty isn't always comfortable, and honesty isn't always fun, and that's what we are. We're definitely, I would say that we are definitely an honest couple.
But I'd rather be that and be full authentic and communicate respectfully and honestly,
and be yourself.
And be yourself.
It feels great to have someone that you can be yourself, like all of your everything. And the Jacqui Childs brand, like the incorporated brand, he is, I'd say 52% of that. I didn't incorporate. I didn't get the lawyers and the whatever. He does all that. I don't pay the taxes. He pays the taxes. I don't run for years. It was him responding to the messages and doing everything. And I show up somewhere on time and I show up ready and who got me there?
Who makes
sure that's happening? Who's like, I don't know. I don't even know what day of the week it is.
What day of the week is it?
I know. You know what?
Is it Wednesday?
But for anyone listening,
Thursday.
For anyone listening, Drew is actually here. And when you guys got here, I was like, I'm so glad that you're both here.
Thank you.
Shout out to Drew, who's in the room. You can't see him, but he's there.
He helps. He makes sure I get here on time and that everything is.
Yeah.
But it shows
so
like
important. It shows that
in the masculinity of that, where he is so confident in himself and your capabilities. Just knowing that, like, hey, she's in the front. I don't need to be. And that takes he doesn't have that ego.
He was the one who came home and said, "Do you want to go to a sex club? Or are you into?" I said, he said, a guy I'm working out with, therapist guy. He's like, him and his girlfriend went to a sex club. Have you ever been to one? I said, I don't think I have. What was it like? I'm like, let's go.
Oh,
and he was the one who brought it home to me first. The
For
idea
our
of
listeners, what's a sex club?
Oh,
you don't think our listeners know?
A sex club is, I'll give you an example. So a sex club is somewhere that you can go and you, a lot of times there's like lockers where you get there in your regular clothes. You can check your clothes. You can wear whatever sexy outfit you want. You can go to different rooms. So maybe one room is a dance club, like a regular club. Mm-hmm. Maybe one room has like a bunch of like fetish stuff where someone can like, put you on a cross and tie your arms and your feet and then whip you and
she knows.
Flogging or do flogging. Or then
what's flogging?
Flogging is when someone flogging is when someone has it's like a leather, like a what would be like a whip, but it's like it's a leather. It's like a tassel. It's like
you little flogger.
No, I know it from some,
It's like a leather tassel whip, and it's like it doesn't hurt as much as like an actual whip. It's kind of like feels nice. But then there's maybe there's other rooms that are like you will walk into a room and there's like a bunch of different spaces and like 10 people are fucking and someone's having a threesome and then there's 4 people over here. Or then you can also have like maybe a private room where like someone is banging your husband.
I'm a watcher. Like I like to watch.
You're like a Christian Grey, Nelson. Do you have a closet in your room just full of all your like flogging gear and your whips?
Nelson has great skin.
You know what? I don't know.
He does have great skin.
Thank you.
Sorry.
He talks about all of his.
Thank you.
He's like, I have really nice stuff.
Yeah.
Do I?
Stuff?
You told me you have really nice
OnlyFans stuff?
No,
like, I mean,
we
it's
were
junk.
saying Christian Grey.
Oh,
Yeah.
he has really nice stuff, meaning is
That,
like,
yes.
No, you said you have really nice skin cream and stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
Well, thanks to our I haven't
guest,
started though.
our
Margo.
upcoming guest,
Not upcoming, past.
Elizabeth,
Oh,
our
yeah.
past guest, who's on an upcoming episode, Elizabeth Grant Skincare.
Yes.
So we
nice.
had, we had Margo Grant on the podcast, and we've been using her skincare, and it is fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, I told you that I was 40, and you're like, no, and I was like,
Elizabeth Grant Skincare.
You are 40.
yeah,
Wow.
it's more 1982.
Isn't like
I feel so. I'm like. I'm the best now. Like,
But I was saying, I'm like, isn't it interesting that this
Need OnlyFans.
episode, we're all very similar. We have a lot, but it's like
And we're
30,
all-
40, 50.
But I was just to say you're 30, right?
Well, I'm not like 30,
32?
but I'm in the 30s.
like early 30s.
I'm in the early 30s.
Early 30s. Oh my God. If
I don't-
knew
I would
then
never
what I
go
know
back.
now. Do you know what? If I knew then what I know now,
I wouldn't want to
Okay,
go back.
so
I'd be
what would you
dangerous.
tell me?
I would tell you never think about anyone but yourself and your little ones. Don't worry about what the neighbors, don't worry about what Joe Blow, don't worry about whatever. Do not take any of it to heart. Don't take, like, what would I tell myself back then? Stop worrying about them. It doesn't matter. And never mind keeping up with Joneses or trying to please the Joneses. Or you're past the Joneses.
Yeah.
It's your little people are the most important in the world, and then you. And taking care, it feels great. Financial freedom, like that freedom, the time. And how do you, I know what I was going to say. People say, oh, she has this money or she does this or she does that. How do you know I don't give it all away?
Yeah.
How do you know I don't give it all away?
I think people love
Like, how
to make judgment on people that make them uncomfortable because they are doing secretly what that person wants to do. So they're looking at, let's say, you and I and Case and, but it's like, well, no,
like, you
because
wish you were doing
wish
this.
you were doing this.
You
We
wish
were
you were
talking
doing
about it.
this.
I was like,
Yeah.
you know what I did today? I woke up, I had 4 joints. I went to get some lattes and donuts for my coworker, and then I came.
And we did a
and then I did a podcast with some like sparkling, and then I'm gonna go to a cannabis event, and that's my job.
Yeah.
And it fucking rocks.
Isn't it
And
awesome?
I am. We were just even saying yesterday though,
Yes.
but like
They've done a lot more than just that too.
Yeah,
today.
we did other.
no, we did other, but like generally, what I was saying, like
part of it.
I told Casey, like I was driving my car today. Well, not my car. I was driving a Grand Prix, and I'm really upset about it. Benzie, my
we don't need to
Benz.
go there.
We were not.
It died? Or is it sad?
It's sad, and it's getting fixed right now. So I'm driving this rusted Grand Prix, and I'm like,
But still, how did you feel?
So I was in that Grand Prix, and I still was looking around, and I was like, I am so grateful for Hover. I'm so grateful for Case. I'm so grateful for Nelson. I'm so grateful for my life. I'm like, I am finally living and being surrounded by people who uplift me,
Oh,
love me,
giving me
support
goosebumps.
me. But like, it's huge. And like, I met Nelson like not even too long ago because I got hired when we had Cast of Creators pod, like when I was on his episode. And ever since I've met him, my life has changed drastically. When I met you, my life changed drastically. And
you
I
came
was
to
like,
my house, and I
came to
never
your
have
house.
anyone
I
at my
know.
house ever.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like
it
when
was
you
fun.
surround yourself with people who are like, hey, we're here to love and support you. You're only going to do amazing
I get
things.
so excited, like I get
Totally.
off, I get juicy.
Yeah,
over
get
people
juicy.
being successful.
Yes,
I love,
me too.
I love it. If
I
I
get
see some-
juicy over that.
for
That's-
real, that's
good way
I
to say it.
definitely get juicy over it. Like somebody's got good stuff going on. It's almost like your win is my win, and I don't know how that happened. But when other, I'm not that
I like it too.
person that gets left
I've
behind.
never been the type to tear people
No,
down and be
I-
jealous of
But
their
you know
success.
what? It's all
Never.
about like for when Kaye came up, I was like, Jacqui, like, look,
That's very exciting.
because you're the one that helped me like want to do it.
to want to be out there, to want
Right.
to do it, and want
And
to
so
be.
like I think it's nice to like go to the people who brought you to where you are and be like, hey, I am here because of you.
And passing me and going by. That's
Yeah, but
great
do,
as far
do
as I'm
better than me, please.
Exactly.
Let me watch you succeed. I'm like, I will get juicy about that.
And totally. Like you're in your 30s. You are killing it. We're right around the same place, and you got 20.
We're not at the same
years
place.
on you.
We're not at the same. But I look at both of you, and I've said to Casie, even when I first got hired, I'm like, you have no idea how much I look up to you. And that's what I said to you.
I just love her.
And I was like,
I know, I love her too.
I was like, and I said that to our past people where we had Lindsay come on, and I told Lindsay, I was like, note that every single woman that I see that's sitting at my table, I want to learn from, and I want to grow with, and I want to empower, and I want us to come together, this beautiful community of inspiring women that are here to change the world.
That, you know what? I want it
on a billboard.
I was just going to say, I want
Write that down.
and I hope for it, but
That's a tough one.
That's
It is. There need more women like us, because
But when you find one though, I have friends that, let's say I have 4 friends, but I've been friends with my entire life though. There are women that are wild and crazy and they own their own businesses and they've been married and divorced and they travel the world and whatever. And
They're
they're
amazing.
fucking amazing women, and we can catch up like it was yesterday, and we don't see each other often. But like when I met you, there's a
as
spark.
soon as I met you, I was like, where's that person? Where's you? We sat down at that table at that stuffy conference, cannabis dinner, and we were at the influencer table. And I sat down and I was like, ugh. They sent me here, and I was like, and I saw you, and I was like, hey. And then you were like, hi. And then we just like made friends. I can't remember who, it was me and Sean and you and Drew. And I can't remember who else was at that table because we were all the men.
They didn't even matter.
It was the
Lyft's conference. It was like, I don't know, it was like.
You put a tattoo on me.
Yeah, I did.
That tattoo, right? You sat on my lap. We went outside, smoked a joint. I was like, I love this girl.
That's a very
influencer table.
Yeah.
And I was like, who are these people?
No, but then you saw me and you were like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you're here and you're cool. And I was like,
I was upset that there was empty seats, and they had all kinds of people waiting in, like, out in this. They had corralled people that weren't allowed to come in because some were special and some were not. And I hate that.
So stupid.
And there's all these empty tables and there's all this food that's being wasted. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, I don't like.
Don't be a dick.
That's another thing I don't like. I don't like that separation of, the haves and the haves
like
not, the VIP. I don't like that stuff. I don't like that stuff at all. I'm not.
But I get the same thing as you, where people are like, "Oh my God, you're so famous." I'm like, "Who?"
I don't. I don't.
Why do you think I'm better?
I never subscribe to any of that.
I don't
stuff.
subscribe to that either.
No.
I'm not that. I live in a small house. I drive a small car. You almost never have like fancy designer thing. I mean, I can have those things. I don't want those things. Like I love thrifting. I love secondhand stuff. I love I love that stuff. I like borrowing from my friends, and they can have mine. Like I'm just a different type of.
Borrows from me.
I'm just a different type of person, I guess.
That's like I mean, also it's like I've had a blog for like 200
forever.
years.
The first blogger, aren't you? Like one of the very first.
Like, oh my God, and like, oh, you're verified, and this and that. And I'm like, honestly, I'm not actually cooler than anyone. If you knew me, I spend a lot of time at home. I sit in my room. I watch Young and the Restless. Like I'm
Bold and the Beautiful
at home. Like I'm not actually. I mean, yes, I'm cool, but I mean, I don't think I'm cooler than anyone. I'm quite humble and like. Also anxiety.
I also take pills to go
humble.
to sleep.
The
anxiety really keeps me humble.
And bipolar, like it's like your brain and your heart and your ego are like just always.
You're like you think you're amazing. Fuck you, bitch. No, you're not.
I always tell people, I was like, there is nothing that you can say to me that I haven't said to myself or worse. I was like, so you think you're gonna insult me? That's how I
keep
feel.
trying.
This baby's got all the insults.
I'm glad now that I've taken a step back and don't want to be the speaker. I don't want to be the host. I don't want to be there. I think it's great that I've taken a step back and I'm a little bit more of a listener. Mm-hmm. I think the bipolar has kept me humble. Also, OnlyFans is keeping me very busy. So, but I am not. I was shocked and saddened when I got that diagnosis, but I'm also like right now I'm happy with where things are, and I'm happy that.
What made you sad about being diagnosed with bipolar?
Oh, well, I can't own a gun.
Oh, you can't.
No.
Have you ever shot a gun?
Yes.
Oh my God. The first time I ever shot a gun was with Nelson.
Yeah.
Really? Yes, I've shot a gun
on a ranch. In a safe environment,
safe environment.
Yeah, you can't own a gun when you're bipolar.
Wow.
There's
Really?
a but yeah.
How do they diagnose that?
Oh God, it takes a long time. Actually,
But it's good that it takes a long time.
It takes a long time.
I mean, it probably should.
I was actually diagnosed like 6 years ago, misdiagnosed. So we stopped meds. We didn't go to the same therapist anymore. Like I say, we.
I mean, you and your other personality.
What's the diagnosis get you though? Is it just
Meds?
Meds?
Yeah. And also, I think with me, I was glad to be diagnosed because it gave me reason for my reactions. I couldn't understand why I am kind, why I'm funny, why yet I am so cutthroat when I snap. Why is this happening to me? I need to really work on my reaction. Why am I letting other people control my whatever? I found out I was bipolar, and that's why this is happening. So now that I know that, I sort of work within the diagnosis. I study it, understand it, take the meds, and I prepare when I'm in public ahead of time that this could happen, this could get said, this could whatever, and how am I going to respond? Being diagnosed bipolar just gave me more of a sort of a why of why I'm acting, because I was very down on myself for allowing other people to say or do things that cause a tremendous reaction from me. I don't want your stuff to make me move. You know what I mean? Like I want
I want to be in the driver's seat here.
I always want to be in the driver's seat. And at least I had I could figure out why I was, now that I have that, I work within it and I understand my limitations and I understand what is a trigger. And I hate the word trigger.
I hate the word trigger too.
I think it's just because it's been overused, but it's still valid.
It's
triggering because it's been triggered.
Yeah, I want to hear some triggers.
A trigger to me is a really a woman with not a lot of confidence is a real trigger to me.
Yeah.
When a woman tries to manipulate a situation or a conversation, but I feel it out of it's coming from
like inferiority or
no coughing.
She's like inferiority complex, but she's like, oh, that's what you're wearing.
I have a real angry reaction. I have a real I also
you feel it. There's a woman instinct.
For sure. And people with bipolar also live with you feel the vibrations and you feel like you're empathetic and you feel exactly. And I can feel things and I can sense things that not everyone feels and senses. That's part of being bipolar. So a woman that, let's say inferiority complex. Right.
Inferiority complex.
That's right.
That's a thing.
Nelson really triggers me. That really triggers me.
Yeah, no, that's a good trigger.
It's
he's an essential
it's a real trigger.
So, well, okay,
and I freak and I go off. I always apologize afterwards. I always I feel terrible. My reactions are to destroy, and I don't want to destroy anyone. But I'm always like, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
I'm burn this place down.
I was mic'd up, headset, mic, and everything. I'm like, I am gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill her. And they're trying to shut everything down. Like I was at a conference, at a huge conference. And my husband, he's packing up. He's like behind the corner.
He's like, we're leaving.
Getting everything ready.
I see that. He's triggered by seeing you and saying, fuck, I gotta get ready to go.
That's a good That's a good trigger. Okay. Do you know of any others? That's a good one though.
When I sense
Drew's like, keep
you
going.
may want to make a t-shirt with all your triggers.
Speaking of t-shirts,
you touch them with
like
nipple tassels.
Nipple tassels.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So
another known trigger.
Yeah, another. It's very, and my kids even know that too. If I see, because I was in a very, very abusive relationship. And most of my relationships were abusive, and I came from a very abusive household. My father just passed a month ago, and we had a tumultuous, terrible relationship, and our home life was very scary. So when I sense a woman is in a relationship that might not be very supportive or kind or nurturing to her, I can't hear anything. I can't focus. I'm focused on sort of safety for that person. I get really.
Do you step in?
I have. I've stepped in a lot, actually.
I have too.
And we were in Amsterdam, and there was a little tussle on the street, and I stepped in. Concerts, people getting whatever, and I step in. And it's not always the right thing to do.
Sometimes you're like, fuck, why did I get myself in this situation?
Do you know that if someone had stepped in when I was being in that situation,
nice,
I'd save
probably.
you.
it wouldn't. I would have got home and gotten more trouble if I
would have been
embarrassed.
good.
Yeah.
If I embarrassed him publicly that way,
You'd be like, why did you?
and then when we
fucking
got
let that
home,
happen?
exactly, it would
But
be all
that's
my
also
fault.
something that's really important to talk about, because people who come from an abusive background, I think it's interesting for people to know how to actually handle situations, because there's a lot of
Don't do anything to
psychological
ruffle feathers, please,
right?
Because
there's a lot of
home.
it's true though. Like even my ex-husband now, he's like, that's not true. And I was like, what
Gaslighting?
world do you, but it is.
Everything's not true in my ex's world.
Right. And it's just like so interesting because you live through it and you're like, and it kind of makes you feel a little bit crazy.
For sure, I thought
100% crazy.
everything
I've
was
been
me.
there too.
I thought everything was me. Everything that was crazy and everything that was happening. Hey, are you filming this while you're sitting there?
Oh yeah, sure am. Hey TikTok, how are you?
No, is it now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you just start?
No, from the beginning.
that's funny. Where's mine?
Well, this is just like my personal TikTok live.
Oh, I don't have TikTok anymore.
I
Okay,
also
TikTok
don't have
I
TikTok.
tried.
I know, and it was cute.
I
and
have an account, but I've never posted anything. But I feel like I should,
sex,
but I
drugs,
also
and
feel
rock
like
and
I
roll.
just can't.
Doesn't go on TikTok.
No.
I feel like I should do OnlyFans instead of TikTok. What the fuck is OnlyFans gonna?
TikTok's not going to pay you.
TikTok's not gonna pay me?
TikTok will give you
Also,
some free
will I get banned
or
if I-
maybe like
I
a
already
cute
have-
sweater.
So one of my friends was like, I know you're gonna need this, and I already have a bra. I have two sexy tops that say OnlyFans with the logo that he ordered for me from the OnlyFans store. I'm fucking ready.
Who ordered you those, Sean?
A guy I know.
A guy I know. I love a guy you know.
Yeah, there's a guy I know. A guy.
Oh my god,
You know what? You both actually sound the same because you both have the same laugh and you both go, "Ooh," with the
I had a video of us at the Tokyo Smoke Party. And
What was he
literally,
doing? Oh my God.
we just see each other, and it's across the room, and we go.
It's just like, no, actually, I know the video because like she posted it and it's like, most
You
people
have
they
funny
see.
glasses on, and I have
And
funny
I'm
glasses on.
wearing pink pants that have hearts all over them. And we're with my friend Michelle. And it's like most people when they see each other, they're like, oh my God, hi. No, this was like a minute and a half of just.
And we look at each other, but
We're like, we move back and we look at each other and then we go and we hug again. It's like, I think it was like we hadn't seen each other from like pandemic times.
right. And in that video, though, you should see the eyes of the other people.
Everyone else is like, they're just like this. And they're like, what? These bitches. They're like, these fucking bitches are so loud. I'm like, bitch.
It was a
wish you
very
had it with
Toronto girl vibe. Like it was a very like.
Oh my God! Actually, at that party, I smoked the the water bong that you flip it up. It's like a big,
student
big
glass. I have
bang,
one of those.
and then you flip it upside down.
Yeah.
I
Can we sound like that, please? I want that.
I took that thing, and then I was like, we need to go. I was like, and I'd already had like a couple of drinks, and then I had that, and I probably ate nothing that
Do you know,
day.
just then when you said, Sean, we need to go home, I thought to myself, I wonder when I say to my husband, Drew, we need to go home. Wonder what he actually thinks. If
I'll be like,
fuck.
Like, are we gonna have
I need to go home. You stay here.
Does she want to do one more round? And you know,
Oh,
is
we
she gonna
always hit
take
the
her shirt
McDonald's.
off and be a show?
We always hit the
I want
McDonald's
like a
drive-thru.
Q&A inclusive with Drew and Jacqui. Could you just imagine?
He won't do it. I've
No,
tried to get him. We've been asked to go on shows. He was asked to do a podcast. He's asked to do interviews. He will not do
But
anything
it keeps the
publicly.
suspense
Like,
alive.
I
No,
Well
it's like,
done,
you
Drew.
can't see Drew, but he's amazing.
And he likes the sex clubs.
Oh, yeah, I hope I see you both there. I'd like to see.
You want an
Drew there.
exclusive? Come to the sex club.
We can do a switch.
Well, Sean, give me my dick for hire.
I hope you listen to this. I asked him, I was like, will you listen to the podcast? He's like, no, I get enough of you. I was like, okay, don't listen to this one.
Listen, I listened to your podcast and they were quite easy to listen to. They were nice
Thank
and
you.
enjoyable. You had lots of great, inspiring conversations. You had a couple of people that were like,
Yeah. I feel like I hope that it's like hanging out with your friends because, like, I feel like that's really
so I was going to listen to 1 and I listened to 5 and
Okay.
it was real. And I was listening to 1 and I listened to 5. They were really
Right.
good and they were interesting and they were fun. And I was just like, I don't know. Nelson is like holding this down.
I like
Thank
the
you.
color comedy wild one. I just peep in with the Weird shit.
And you were talking about your blog and talking about
Well,
your...
that's a surprise. Never meet me at any party. It's like,
You know what? You should be proud of it.
I am, but it's like, oh, there's Sean's like, oh, fuck, she's talking about her blog again.
She's talking about her blog. I think it's great.
But I am my blog. My blog is me. It's called This Is My Life, and this is my life. So
I love it.
till there.
Yeah.
I'm a blog.
And I remember when I met Kaye and they were like, oh, she's a TikToker or whatever. She's more than a TikToker. And I really I started telling people she was a musician because I actually thought she was.
Because I am.
And you are.
And then, so I was on the green room once at the actual cannabis
And she sang.
event. And then the second time I sang for you. And that's the first time you heard me sing.
Has she sang on the cast of creators?
No.
Sean actually said that. He's like,
Yeah, I've never heard her
she's a
sing.
did
really
a deep
good singer.
dive on articles on you. And then Sean also was like, oh, and she's a musician. Sean, because we hung out at my house, Kaye and Sean and I, and then we went to a party, and he did a deep dive on you one day, and he came home and he's like, I know Kaye's all this.
She is a musician and a great
I
singer.
know.
Really great voice. I thought it was phenomenal.
I mean,
No, we're not
maybe you'll
doing it.
do a little ditty after this.
Yeah.
Little ditty.
Let's get high and then I'll like serenade all
I
of
think
you.
that it's a really good time for us to go smoke a joint.
Let's go smoke a joint.
Jacqui, I would like to thank you for coming and joining us and sharing all of your truth and being super honest. And just like, honestly, I'm going to walk out of here like floating a few inches above the ground because you just made me feel high.
I'm glad. That was nice. I don't know if we changed the world or anything, but we
No,
had
I
some
think
laughs.
we actually need to take a minute, and I just want to reframe our mindset because my therapist told me to do this. So, but I don't want us to talk negative about what we're doing. So even you saying like, I don't know if we change the world, fuck you, Jacqui. You change
Yeah,
the
we
world.
are.
But
We're
actually
changing.
though, like you do change the world. Every single thing you do, and you do. You changed my world. You changed my world. So how you changed my world?
So
So
change
how-
my world. And
But
you
that's what I
changed my
mean.
world.
So if you're already changing the people in this table, their world, you've changed the world.
Aw,
So I don't
you
want to
change
hear
lives.
you ever say that again.
I hope something I say resonates and connects with people. And I mean, we're all doing the best we can. We're all trying our best. And that's really, I
All
mean,
you
I'm
can do.
I'm a totally flawed human doing the very best I can. And I hope we're having some laughs and fun along the way. That's it.
I love it.
Amazing.
Thanks, Jacqui.
Thanks,
Jacqui.
Nelson. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.